I have not read a single book on my TBR. What am I doing? It's 7 a.m. and I'm already crying. Trying to make the decision between making a latte or making a mixed drink because it's 4 p.m. and it would be an appropriate time for either one. Hello and welcome to Finishathon. I'm starting out this vlog by lying to you all, sorry. Finishathon doesn't actually start for the next 2 days. It's Saturday right now and Finishathon starts on Monday. I just got done finishing my March TBR and the lighting is semi-excellent and I look semi-presentable, and I honestly don't know when within the next 2 days I will be able to sit down and get a proper intro clip, so I thought let's go ahead and seize the moment, shall we? If you don't know, Finishathon is a week-long readathon. This will be a week-long reading vlog, and this readathon is hosted by the ever so lovely Tea Books in Tasman. I will of course leave her channel and the announcement video linked down below, and if you aren't already subscribed to her, please go do so. She is just effervescent and wonderful. This readathon centers around one thing and one thing only, and it is finishing books that you have previously started and for whatever reason just haven't gotten around to finishing yet. I have 3 books that I have started and then have put on pause and have planned to finish and just haven't. The first one is Dactyl Hill Squad by Daniel Jose Older. I don't want to tell you like a full in-depth description. It's middle grade, action adventure, reimagined Revolutionary War Brooklyn. Group of orphans and dinosaurs are a thing that just live and breathe and walk the earth. Next book that I hope to finish during this week is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Clune. I don't need to tell you about this. Magical children, island, orphanage, grumpy guy visits and has his life changed. And then the third and final book that I want to finish during this readathon is actually one that I plan on listening to purely on audiobook, and that is The Night Tiger by Young Z Chu, following 2 different characters' perspectives. One of them is this young servant boy who is trying to locate his previous master's finger, and then the other character that I remember is a young woman who worked at this dance hall, and I think that she ends up acquiring this finger. So yes, that's my TBR for Finishathon. I'm not going to cheat the readathon. I'm just cheating the vlogging process. I hope that's okay with everyone. Please don't close out of this vlog. Please continue to watch. My arms look so weird from this angle. This looks so odd. What is going on? Okay, I'm procrastinating at this point. I'm really excited to finish these books. I think I've said that about 1,000,000 times now, but one more for good measure. I'm so excited to be participating and to finish these books. That's enough. I will see you again on March 1st. Hi, it is day 1 of Finishathon at 10 p.m. and I have not read a single book on my TBR. So things are going really swimmingly over here. Now, mind you, I have been reading all the live long day. I just haven't been reading books from my Finishathon TBR. I've been reading the leftover parts of books from my January TBR. I was far enough along in all of them that it wouldn't have made sense for me to like push them off for a week and then do my Finishathon TBR and then have to have like another subsequent Finishathon after this week. I ended up finishing the Red at the Bone audiobook by Jacqueline Woodson. Well, the audiobook is actually an entire cast of characters. Jacqueline Woodson is one of the narrators in there. It was actually well, I don't know why I'm talking about this now. You can hear about it in my January wrap-up. Yes, I will still be including this in my January wrap-up. February. I will be including that one in my February wrap-up. January or February? What month is it? It's March. I will be including that one in my February wrap up, even though I technically finished it on March 1st because I read the majority of it in February. Do I even know what months are anymore? This is why I can't film past like 8 p.m. And I also have like less than 50 pages in Parable of the Sower left. What was the point of this clip? I haven't talked about Finishathon even once. Here, I am going to be picking up where I left off in Dactyl Hill Squad, and maybe, can we focus? Maybe finishing it tomorrow, because I honestly, see, this is what I'm now discovering is the issue, my issue with this readathon is that I don't remember where I left off in this book, because this isn't actually the copy that I originally was reading of this book, which we can get into that story when it's not so late at night. I guess I just wanted to pull the camera out for the sake of the vlog. That way I'd have a real clip for day one of Finishathon. I didn't read a single thing from my TBR. Didn't vlog at all except for 10 p.m. with 2 hours left on day one. So Finishathon, we're doing it. Hello everyone, happy day 2 of Finishathon. I am coming to you live from my apartment at, I think it's, I don't know what I'm looking for, a clock. I think it's like 7 p.m. So we're making progress from my 10 p.m. update on day 1 yesterday. I promise that I will try my hardest to be a better vlog person, vlogger, better at vlogging this weekend. We made progress. I'm updating you a bit earlier, and we also finally made progress on the actual readathon TBR. I think that I updated you in the vlog clip from last night that this is not the original copy that I started reading this with. I started reading this in June, this past June, when I was visiting family back in the States, and I did not leave the house during that time because it was June 2020 in the US. So I wasn't gonna leave the house, but the local library was doing curbside pickup, so that's basically all I did. I ended up having to last minute change my flight back to Dubai because like flight restrictions and, you know, border closures and things like that. So I ended up leaving the US about a week earlier than originally planned, and it was super last minute, and I didn't end up being able to finish this one, and it was a library copy, so I like couldn't take it with me. I never got around to picking it back up until Finishathon, so thank goodness for Finishathon. It's been pretty easy for me to get dropped back into this world. I'll tell you about it in just a second, but I have read probably a good 50 pages. I have about 50 pages left. I just got to part 3, which is the final part, and you can see this beautiful artwork. I don't know if it's picking it up or not. I just spaced out reading all these blurbs because they're like all of my favorite authors have blurbed this book. Jacqueline Woodson, Tomi Adeyemi, Rita Williams Garcia, Jesmyn Ward, and Lori Halls Anderson all blurbed this book. So like, do you even need to know what it's about? They all blurbed it. Just go pick it up. But just in case you want to hear it from me, this is middle grade action adventure. And I think I said in my beginning TBR explanation that it took place during the Revolutionary War, but it takes place, I'm stupid, it takes place during the Civil War. And basically at the beginning, there's this group of orphans living in this orphanage, and their orphanage gets attacked, or the part of the city that they're in gets attacked, and basically half of them get rescued by this group of people called the Vigilance Committee, and then the other half of them end up getting kidnapped. And the whole story kind of surrounds the group of orphans that is working with the Vigilance Committee, trying to get their friends and their family members back from being kidnapped. This book is so awesome because it's including so many things that existed during that time in history, but then it's just also Daniel Jose Older has made it so cool because in this reimagined Brooklyn, dinosaurs are alive and walk the earth. Instead of like horse-drawn carriages, there's triceratops drawn carriages. They fly from roof to roof on pterodactyl back, and it just adds this completely adventurous, whimsical element. But then there's some really amazing topics that are kind of written out of American history and are not talked about in American history that have been written into this. I remember each one of the characters in this main group so distinctly. There's a character called Two Step that is just my whole entire heart. I love this boy so much. And the main character, Magdalise, is just fierce. If I don't finish it tonight, then I'll definitely finish it tomorrow. And then I think that my next read, hold on. I even kept it in the packaging, but I was too excited when it came that I opened it up, but I put it back in the packaging so you could get the effect. But my next read is going to be this thing of beauty. I forgot that I also ordered a copy of The Night Tiger. So I have this physical copy. So now I can officially, maybe that can be the thumbnail. Probably not though, because I look like this. And this was upside down. Maybe I should take a thumbnail when my brain isn't at half capacity. Okay, I really need to end this clip, but now I have all the physical books that I plan on reading, which is very exciting. Okay, this update needs to end. I'll see you at some point tomorrow. Okay, goodbye. Hi. I realize that it probably looks like I'm just updating you later in the evening from my last clip. But no. It's been a full 24 hours, over 24 hours, in fact. I had the best of intentions. I came home after school today. I was able to finish Dactyl Hill Squad, which we'll talk about in just a second. And I was like, Caroline, this is great. Pull out your camera, do an update. Like, it'll be daylight hours. People will love it. And I fell asleep. Okay, so it's Wednesday today, and Wednesdays are my Wednesdays are my Dungeons and Dragons night. So I just got back from that, and so I finished this one hours ago, but I just haven't had time to update you between my sleeping and then my goblin hunting. So at the point from where I last updated you, I just had like 50 pages left, and they were just a nonstop thrill ride of this wonderful, perfectly gorgeous found family. There's this whole pretty big chunk at the back that is just like a glossary or an index almost, and it gives notes on like people in the story, who they were based off of in actual like Civil War American history. He even goes into the like dinosaurs that are mentioned in this one. I'm not sure. I always have a tough time with middle grade because this is definitely something I would recommend to my students, and because of just kind of the history that it brings up and the action and just the loveliness of the characters, I would give it 5 stars. But as far as like me as a reader, would it get 5 stars? Probably not, but which one matters? So now that this is done, finished, my first book finished for Finishathon, I am ready to move on to my next one, House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Clune. I really wanted to at least get started or pick up from where I left off in this one today, but then I remembered why I stopped this one in the first place. As soon as I heard about it and as soon as I heard the hype around it, like I knew I was gonna love it, but I couldn't for the life of me get my hands on a physical copy. So I have a lovely friend who gifted me the audiobook, and I made it about 30% of the way, 30 or 40% of the way through that audiobook version before I put myself at a hard stop, because here's the thing. I was enjoying the story. I was liking it. I wasn't like annoyed by the narrator or anything like that, but listening to this one on audio just confirmed for me that I am the type of reader that when it comes to any fantastical or magical or whimsical book, I have to read it physically. I am this is gonna sound so stupid because I feel like everyone is like this, or maybe you're not, I don't know your life, but like when I read whimsical or fantastical settings or characters, I am very much someone that I have to like stop, and when something is being described, I have to stop and sit and picture it in my own head. Audiobooks don't really allow for that, so I knew, even though I was enjoying it, I couldn't shake the feeling the whole time I was listening to it. I would have been enjoying it more if I would had been reading it physically. Just because I feel like this book is gonna be so special, like, do I want to start it over again from the beginning? But at this point, we're halfway through Finishathon, and I still want to finish this, and I want to finish this one too. Tomorrow marks my weekend, and I really do feel like I can get through this fairly quickly, and I just feel like this is gonna be so special that I should restart it from the beginning. Does it still count as a Finishathon book if I read the whole thing from start to end? I started it before, so I will be finishing it technically. I feel like it should still count. Hello and good evening. Finishathon day 4. I was thinking through this clip before I hit record, and in my head, it was Finishathon day 3, but no, it is day 4. We are not panicking. We are staying cool, calm, and collected, even though technically I've only finished one book on my Finishathon TBR. I'm officially on my weekend. It's Thursday, so it's the last day of school here in the UAE, because our school week is Sunday through Thursday. So I had my full day of teaching. It was hectic and crazy, as this whole year has been, but it was ultimately just like a really good day with my kids. They make this whole pandemic hybrid, whatever the hell we're doing this year, they make it so worth it. I said I was trying to make the decision in the clip last night that I filmed whether I was going to try and restart this from where I left off in the audiobook, or if I was just going to restart it from the beginning. And I don't know if you can tell from where my bookmark is, but I officially made the decision to restart it from the beginning. And already, I'm only on page like 50, but already it's paying off. This is just, for me personally, an infinitely better reading experience when I'm reading it physically. Everything that I'm reading right now, I remember listening to in the audiobook, but it's just such a better experience. I've already had moments where I've just wanted to like hug the book to me, and the like plot hasn't even taken off yet. We're still very much in the exposition. I'd love if I could get at least to the point where I left off last time, so that's about a little over 100 pages in, which I think I can do because I'm already 50 pages in, and it's still the very early evening. And then I can kind of split my weekend with reading this physically and then listening to the audiobook for this one. Maybe I'll update you later this evening. If not, the next time you will see me will be in the AM time. I will do an AM morning clip for this vlog, I promise. Good morning, Finishathon. Yes, you heard that correctly. It is a morning update from I, the girl who has not managed a morning update, and we're more than halfway through the vlog at this point, but we're here. It's early in the morning. It's like 7. I just made my morning cup of coffee. I went to bed at like 9 p.m. It was glorious. And other than sushi and going to bed obscenely early, I managed to get this far in House in the Cerulean Sea. So I'm about at the point where I left off last time in the audiobook, and I am still just loving the decision that I made to restart it from the beginning. I was talking to my friends that have read this before, and this book is just a cleanser for your brain. Like, my brain feels healed while I am reading this, and it's for all the reasons that you've heard of from everyone else, just like these children and how endearing they are, but the way that it's written too, just like very subtle reminders that like there is magic in the world, and like, yes, of course we should fight for one another, and of course we should fight for that magic to exist. And like, what am I doing? It's 7 a.m. and I'm already crying. I haven't even read one page of this book so far today. If I use today to finish this, that leaves me 2 more days to read The Night Tiger, and I was not that far into The Night Tiger. And also I got a little panicked this morning while I was making my coffee, that I don't have the audiobook. Like, I got it from my library last time, and I guess in my head I was just like, oh yeah, it'll be available. Woohoo! They have it. Can you see it? It's right there. So we are going to borrow. Oh, I forgot that the coolest thing about Libby is that if it returns something for you before you're finished, when you borrow it again, like if I borrow an audiobook from Libby again, it picks up from where I last left off, which is just like, honestly, shout out to Libby for being a real one. That's fantastic. Let's see where I left off in this. Okay, so I was I was an hour in. I was 7% of the way in. Okay, so this was like one that I barely started. Sit here, I'm gonna read this for however long I please, and then I'm going to, I think, go on a run, and I will begin listening to this. Hello everyone. Thought that I'd check in with just a late afternoon update to tell you everything that has happened since we last spoke. I ended up going on that run. It was simultaneously a good decision and a bad decision. It was a good decision because I just feel like whenever I get movement in the morning time, I always just feel semi-accomplished and good the rest of the day, feeling like I'm starting off my day strong. It was also good because I got some Starbucks. I think that by now I'll have overlaid some clips. You can see some iPhone quality clips of just different sites along the way. It was a bad decision because it was so hot on this run. I feel like I may have gotten a little overheated. So even though when I run in the morning, I feel like I've always accomplished things, since being back, I've done a whole lot of nothing. I was able to listen to a good chunk of the Night Tiger audiobook while I was on my run, which was lovely. There's this young servant boy who is looking for his previous deceased master's severed finger, and he is at a new master's house, and for whatever reason, we don't know yet, his previous master believed that it would be at this dude's house, and then that's one storyline that we're kind of following. And then the other storyline is this young girl who is what's her job? An apprentice maker, but she also moonlights as a dance hall girl to pay her mother's debts. That's the summary's description, not mine. I have been continuing to read this absolute sunbeam of a story, and I have just been spending the majority of today recovering from heat stroke on this couch that's behind you. You can't see it, and reading this and laughing hysterically at points, and I have shed a few tears. I haven't like all out sobbed, although I'm sure that's coming. So at this point, I'm a little over halfway through, so I'm going to continue. I still am going to make it a goal of mine to finish this by tonight, which I think should be possible because I'm really enjoying it, and it's not even night yet. Hopefully the next time I see you, it will be when I am done with this magnificent thing. Hi, it's not even 5 minutes later, but I was just sitting here thinking about how I was going to make myself some kind of beverage to go along with me while I read, and I was trying to make the decision between making a latte or making a mixed drink because it's 4 p.m. and it would be an appropriate time for either one, in my opinion. I think that I'm going to make myself a latte because I feel like that would make a better montage than me making a mixed drink. So here's a latte making montage for you. You thought that you heard Aaron from, if you thought that you heard Aaron from Booked and Busy in the background of that montage, you're not wrong. I was watching her vlog where she read 28 books in 28 days, which is just some queen type behavior in my opinion. So now I have my latte for motivation and I have Erin for motivation, because if she can read 28 books in 28 days, well, hello everyone, it's nighttime Caroline, reporting live from my bed. I believe that last we spoke, I was talking to you about Erin from Booked and Busy's, her vlog, which I don't know if I said this already, but I'll leave her channel and that vlog, which is so impressive. I'm still not done with it. I'm watching it in parts. I do that with like my favorite vlogs, but I will leave that vlog linked. It's probably for everyone's benefit, myself mostly, that my camera battery died, because I didn't need to record myself sobbing through the last 150 pages of this. There was one part in particular where I was just convulsing with emotions. I will never look at buttons the same way again in the best way possible. I want a wyvern so bad. If you've read it, then you know. I loved this. It was sunshine and sunlight and starlight and warmth in a book. I read this in its entirety, because I started it from the beginning, in basically 24 hours, which never happens with me. I am like a certified proud slow reader, and I mean, the readathon for sure was motivating, but also just once you start, you can't stop with this one, you know? Good morning, Finishathon, day 6. I have just made my morning cup of coffee, so I thought that we could sit here and just sip our coffees together while I think through everything that I need to do today. You don't need to know everything that I need to do today, but I do. Let's see, I need to go to the gym, which I have a class that I'm taking at my gym in like an hour. So that is probably the first thing that's going to happen. I also need to order groceries, which I guess I could do right now. I've basically been living off leftover scraps in my refrigerator for the past week. Should probably start editing this vlog. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but it needs to get edited eventually. I need to do some grading, which I'm not looking forward to. I do not like grading or marking on my weekends, but I've just procrastinated this particular grading for too long. It needs to happen. And I think the last thing is, well, kind of two things in one. I need to clean my apartment because I feel like I'm living in squalor, and that lends itself well to me listening to the last book on my Finishathon TBR, which is The Night Tiger. You can see it's sitting on my couch back there, my physical copy. So I think the plan is today, anytime that lends itself well to listening to an audiobook, so when I'm driving places, when I'm walking places, when I'm cleaning, I will listen to the audiobook. There are gonna be times today where I want to read, but I want to do it being stationary, which I think we've already discussed that I'm not like a sit still and listen to an audiobook kind of gal, so that's where the physical copy will come in. So I'll be switching back and forth on and off throughout the day today, and hopefully all of those things will get accomplished. Hi, Finishathon. It's later this evening and I'm sad, which is dramatic. I am not actually sad. I'm just in a funk. I got in this weird mood like an hour ago and I wish I would just snap out of it because I don't even know what brought it on. I think I just have the Saturday scaries. I ended up being able to get done everything that I wanted to. I started to edit this vlog and we really need to work on keeping our clips short and sweet because oh my god, do I talk a whole lot about nothing at all. So I started to edit that, but I gave up with a swiftness because I was annoying myself. We're calling this a good day, especially because the Night Tiger, is going so well. I'm almost 200 pages in, which as you can see is not even halfway through. And yes, I am a little nervous that I'm not going to be able to finish this by the time the readathon is over because tomorrow is the last day of the readathon, but I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on myself. I've like briefly synopsized it and it's really just like what's on the back or like what's on the Goodreads synopsis, and really not a whole lot has happened other than that. Like the basic setup and premise is still kind of where we're at 200 pages in. So it is really slow, which I love, but it's the slow in the kind of way where you can see a bunch of moving pieces that are slowly coming closer and closer together as the story goes on, and I am just really, really loving it. I am loving this audiobook. Yangzi Chu narrates it and her voice matches what I feel like is the tone of this writing perfectly. It is delicate, but it is also like ethereal and magical, and I love it so much. I love it when authors get to narrate their own stories. That's where I'm at. We're in a weird mood, but we're working through it. We're going to hope for the best tomorrow in terms of finishing this. Hi everyone. Finishathon is over. If we're being honest, it's been over for a few days now. But I wanted to do one final exit clip, just kind of checking in, going over what I managed to read this week, what I managed to live like this week, etc. I technically read 5 books within the Finishathon time frame, but if we're focusing on the ones on my actual Finishathon TBR, I managed to read the last 100 pages of Dactyl Hill Squad, and then I restarted House in the Cerulean Sea from the beginning and read it cover to cover, and then I pretty much read The Night Tiger in its entirety, switching back and forth between the audiobook and the physical copy. I actually think that I'm going to end up giving all of these books 4 stars, even though my reading experience was different for each of them. And I mean, they all got 4 stars, so I very much enjoyed all of them, but for all different reasons. And I am just so grateful for this readathon. I'm calling this week a success, even though like life-wise it had its ups and downs, but doesn't every week nowadays have their ups and downs? I always say that my life, you know, gets in the way of me being able to talk to my camera about books. I think that this one was ultimately the one that I ended up talking to you all the least about, but oddly, it may be my favorite one that I read out of these 3. I don't even know that it's fair to say that just because all 3 of these are so different, but this one ultimately ended up being just such a fantastic reading experience. I think I already said how much I enjoyed the audiobook, but the physical copy as well just got me so drawn into this story. It was what I am discovering my favorite kind of mystery, where nothing necessarily is trying to get solved, but these mysterious events keep occurring. And I think that the ending answered just enough questions, then also kind of left some things up for questioning and up to chance. And I want to coin this term. I don't know if it actually exists, but that I really like in books. And I want to call it monster mystery, where in a book where a plot point is people keep dying under mysterious circumstances, and the whole mystery surrounding their deaths is not who did it, but kind of, okay, is the reason that they're dying because of a human? Or is it because of an animal? Or is it because of something otherworldly entirely? And that's kind of exactly what this book was. And I just absolutely loved it. And I want to find more books that have this kind of monster mystery thing in them. So ultimately, just a fantastic week of reading. I finished 3 4-star books just within the first week of March. I feel like I'm winning. Thank you so much to Finishathon. Thank you so much to you if you are still watching this. I certainly appreciate you. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I think that for the sake of how long this vlog probably already is, I need to close out. So hope that you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.